Hey guys, CC Hialeah here. We're back again with another history video. Now today, we're going to be covering a location that is very underrated. And that location is Portland, Oregon. Because although this location is very underrated, it does have a unique history. And I thought it'd be really cool to explore it. By the way, this video was requested by CEC Vancouver. So shout out to CEC Vancouver for requesting this location. So in today's video, I will be going over the entire 38-year history of one of the most underrated Chuck E. Cheese locations. From a Pizza Time theater to its many stage transitions, all the way to its unfortunate closure. This is the history of the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon. By the way, this video is a collaboration with Michael Armenta, who is kind enough to provide some photos and videos, as well as some information about this location, and who will be also join us in this video. So thanks, man. So before we talk about the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, I should probably go over the history of each. Chuck E. Cheese's was founded on May 17th, 1977 in San Jose, California. It was created by Nolan Bushnell, who was one of the creators of the video game company Atari. He wanted to make a place where families can hang out and play arcade games. While Chuck E. Cheese already had a store in the state, which would be in the Beaverton, Oregon location, it was time for Chuck E. Cheese to open a second location in the state, and this time in the beloved Portland, Oregon city. The Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater in Portland, Oregon opened on November 19th, 1982, to the joy of locals everywhere. It was the 193rd location to open. This location was also a franchise location, owned locally. The interior was your standard Pizza Time Theater at the time. It was dark with orangish brown booths, low-hanging lights, and picnic tables. There was also a salad bar, a topping station for ice cream sundaes, and even beer for the adults, that is. The prize counter was known as Jasper's General Store, where you could trade tickets into prizes. There was also an arcade room called the Fantasy Force and had tons of arcade games. Now, like usual, I will not be going over the games and rides this location had to offer, since they're pretty much around the same type of games they usually have at other Pizza Time theaters. Now, like pretty much all of the Pizza Time theaters at the time, they had your standard animatronic show, which was the balcony stage. The balcony stage featured the 5 main characters on a balcony attached to the wall, hence its name. There's also a large maze at the bottom of the stage where kids and adults can crawl under the animatronics. This was called Mr. Munch's Magic Madhouse. There was also an applause board at that time as well. The room where the animatronics were located in was called the theater and had a large seating capacity. Speaking of the animatronics, they were the real stars of the restaurant as they performed daily every 15 minutes. These animatronics were called Cyberamics and were the most common throughout stages. They were called the Pizza Time Players, and its cast of characters include Chuck E. Cheese, Jasper T. Giles, Pasquale the Chef, Mr. Munch, the Warblood Singing Birds, and Helen Henny. Since this location opened in very late 1982, it's unlikely that Portland had any of the guest stars. Around the mid-80s, we got to see some photos of Portland, which shows a kid's birthday party, and these are the only known photos of Portland, Oregon's balcony stage. So, hey, I mean, that's really cool. Now, like all Pizza Time theater locations, they of course had a cabaret character. This one was someone who played something very chill, nice, calm, and classical. And her name was Dolly Dimples. Dolly was a large hippopotamus who performed piano songs. Her show tapes were originally created for the adults due to having many innuendos. Thankfully, her show tapes were toned down after the years went by. here's the only known photo of Portland's Dolly Dimples animatronic. As we enter the mid-80s, the Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater in Portland, Oregon was still going strong. It even survived multiple bad moments for the company, such as the video game crash of 1983, and when Pizza Time Theater filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in 1984. This is because not only it was doing well, but it was a franchise location, so that means Portland, Oregon was not affected by corporate things, such as the bankruptcy of the company. Thankfully, the bankruptcy did not last long as they were purchased by the far better competitor, Showbiz Pizza. In 1986, Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza Time Theater and Showbiz Pizza merged into one company. And with the merger came a rebranding of the company and stores. So beginning around 1986, I'm not sure if Billy Bob would appear at Portland, Oregon. I'm not sure if Billy Bob even appeared at most of the Pizza Time theaters. All I know is that Chuck E. Cheese appears in Showbiz Pizza locations, which, like I mentioned in my Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz Pizza video about the Austin, Texas location. So it's possible. I'm not really sure. But anyways, by the late 80s, it was time to remodel Portland, Oregon. Some changes were minor, and others were major. Now, in the beginning of the next chapter, I'm going to hand it over to my good friend, Michael Armenta.
In 1989 or 1990, the Portland restaurant would receive their first remodel, the Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza refurbishment. Many major changes were made from this remodel. The photos I'll be using for this section are from a 1995 video from the Portland restaurant. They updated the exterior to feature the new Chuck E. Cheese's Pizza logo and would also repaint the building. The interior was also completely changed. The walls were painted white with checkers around them. Newer, brighter lighting was added. Blue and white awnings and neon lights were added around the service areas, and they added new decorations like posters. Most original decorations and artwork from the early 1980s were completely removed and thrown away. New black and green booths were also added around the restaurant, and green carpet replaced the original 1980s carpet. The Dolly Dimples animatronic was removed from the cabaret room, and the area was filled with games and booths. New borders and windows were placed around the restaurant as well. This remodel also added a brand new show. Their balcony stage would be retrofitted into the updated C stage. This C stage wasn't really different from the ones seen at other locations, except for the fact that they ended up keeping the balcony stage nameplates. They weren't removed during the retrofitting process for unknown reasons. Their C stage also had the store's address on the door behind Chucky. All of the characters' unique outfits from the balcony stage era were kept except for Pasquale's. His outfit was changed to the standard version. This was the way the restaurant would look for the next couple of years. They wouldn't remodel to the 1993 update and wouldn't begin another remodel until the late 1990s. But before that, they did receive an updated stage show.
Some things to know about Portland's 2 stage is when the stage was first installed, Chucky was given his tuxedo and red derby hat, which is obviously pretty standard for cyberamic stages, whether it's the road stage or the 1 stage. I mean, it's pretty much a standard outfit. Another thing to mention is that the valance was blue. Not that that matters, but like there's different valance colors, like the standard green, there's blue, there's also black, and the Showbiz Pizza valance, which is dark blue. Anyways, another thing to know is that Pasquale had an orange swirl drum front, or as I like to call it, the concept unification drum front, since this was only around during the time of concept unification. Another thing to mention is that the stage has wood paneling, opposed to the normal paneling which can be seen on the walls. Speaking of the walls next to the stage still kept the wooden walls. And even though they still had the wooden walls, they also had the flags in the showroom, which is pretty cool since most locations would replace the flags in favor for a new drop ceiling and new decor. One of the coolest parts about the stage though is that both Helen has her 90s mask and Jasper has his Pizza Time Theater mask. You can tell it's those masks because of Helen's long hair and her beak, and Jasper's visible wrinkles. I should probably note this, but Portland, Oregon was not the only location with Pizza Time Theater masks. But again, that's a story for another day. Between 1995 and 1996, we start to see some footage of Portland, Oregon. We could tell by this point they received the new Tuxedo Chuck walkaround, the Duncan Brandon version of the walkaround. As we could see, the animatronics seem to be in decent condition. Well, basically in great condition, since nothing was pretty much broken, but it obviously wasn't in the perfect shape, but it was in great condition. I would give the stage an A tier. But another thing to mention that I forgot about is the stage. So here's an image of a standard 2 stage coming from some location. I'm not sure what location he's gonna put up. Like, Michael, if you're editing this, please put the title of the location. Thank you. Anyways, so here's a photo of a normal 2 stage. If you notice something, the platform of the stage is outside of the wall. However, with Portland, Oregon, it's inside the wall. So let's say if Portland, Oregon received the monstrosity known as Chuck E. Cheese 2.0. So let's say, yeah, Portland received 2.0. So if they wanted to get a video wall, they wouldn't have to take out the stage. They would just have to remove the box and the platform behind it. And they would just have to install a video wall and redo the paneling. And yeah, basically you have a video wall. However, Portland did not receive the 2.0 remodel, but we'll talk about its future later. Sometime in the late 90s, the restaurant received the finalized version of the major 90s remodel, which introduced the classic Cool Chuck logo with the red and yellow awnings. The rooftop on the location was also green, which is pretty cool. I mean, green is my favorite color, of course. Anyways, they would introduce the record posters, the wall planters, the artifact shelves, dining lights, some magazine posters, some parody posters, the toddler artwork, some sports artwork, add the toddler zone, removing the ball pit in favor for the sky tubes, and of course some new games and rides. Speaking of the sky tubes, the top of the sky tubes is pretty unique. So opposed to having a normal yellow car, they have a white one, which, I mean, hey, it's pretty unique, so I'm glad. So during this remodel, the showroom had a major overhaul, as basically, they were completely renovate the showroom. Well, sort of. The flags in the showroom were removed. The wooden walls were also removed in favor for new standard white walls. And the wood paneling on the stage was changed to a normal white paneling. Also, one thing I did forget to mention is that around the 90s, they of course had a walk around. So remember when I said that I was going to be talking about the other walkarounds? Well, now I'm going to talk about it. Because sometime around the 90s, most likely in 1994 when they received the 2 stage, they had a Jasper and a Munch walkaround. I mean, I pretty much haven't brought up the fact that other locations had other walkarounds, so this is kind of my first video talking about it. So as we enter the 2000 section of this video, I'm going to hand it over again to my good friend Michael Armenta.
The restaurant would remain the same for most of the 2000s. Only some minor changes were made, like some new artwork and games. The 2 stage would also go through some small changes. The purple cover on the TV was removed, and some of the characters' masks were replaced with newer versions, like Jasper. Chucky's tuxedo was also replaced with his Cool Chuck outfit. Pasquale's 1990s drum front was replaced with the newer version as well. The next big update to the restaurant would happen in mid to late 2007, when the location received the 2005 Cool Chuck remodel. The exterior was repainted with brown checkers and the roof was painted purple and red. The sign was updated to feature the purple Thumb Chuck logo as well. The showroom walls were demolished, new red and green booths were added, newer decorations and posters were put up around the restaurant, with the older art being thrown out. Some of the building's walls were painted purple, and the original lighting was replaced with fluorescent lighting. New games and rides were also placed in the game area. Chucky's outfit was updated once again around the same time. He would now be wearing his Avenger outfit. Now we'll move on to the 2010s.
As we enter the 2010s, things were looking very interesting for Portland, Oregon, as it looked very unique, to be honest. So, let's talk about it. So, this photo was taken around December 5th, 2011. And do you notice something? Yep, Tuxedo Chuck is still there. And it's not the one with the Avenger hat or the Cool Chuck hat. It's the Derby hat version. Now, hold up. You may be wondering, CEC Hialeah, how is this possible? How did they still have the original Tuxedo Chuck walk around as we enter 2012, the year where Chuck E. Cheese starts to go downhill? How the hell does that happen? Well, again, this location is franchised, so they're not owned by corporate, so they're allowed to have whatever walk around they want. However, around 2012, they will most likely switch to the Avenger Chuck walk around. Another thing to mention is what makes the store a bit unique. So you know Birthday Star 2001, right? So it was only used from January 2001 to December 2007. And yes, it's still used to this day, but only at the Nanuet, New York location, only on the Throwback Thursdays show tape, to be used on their Studio C beta for their retro store / legacy store. However, Portland, Oregon actually still played that show tape till around 2012. They've used that song for over 10 years. Even like about 3 to 4 years after it stopped being used. So, hey, that's cool. 2012, Chuck E. Cheese's was really about to change. As we all know, in the summer of 2012, Chuck E. Cheese's sales were starting to decline. So they had to redesign Chucky into Rockstar Chuck, which killed off our beloved Avenger Chuck. And with the new Chuck came a rebranding of the company and stores. So possibly around the summer of 2013, they received the Rockstar walk around in Portland, Oregon. And by September of the same year, the Bot's hat was removed. However, it's unknown, because like I said before, this location was still franchised, so they could have still had Avenger Chuck pretty much everywhere. As we enter the mid-2010s, things were really about to change at Portland. Because unfortunately, sometime in 2014, the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon was sold to CEC Corporate, meaning it was no longer a franchise location but rather a corporate-owned location. Meaning corporate could do whatever they want to the location. And unfortunately, this also affected the Jasper and Munch walkarounds. Thankfully, they weren't destroyed. However, they were taken out of the location. They were sent to the Vancouver, Washington location, in which they still remain to this day. So hey, at least some remnants of Portland, Oregon remain. Sort of. Around 2017 to 2018, they received the Play Pass system, which basically removed the use of tokens in favor of a dreaded Play Pass card, which is basically the more modern way to play games. Now, this was pretty much one of the last major changes to happen. Also around the 2010s, the side-to-side curtains on the 2-stage were removed. Speaking of the 2-stage, it still looked a bit like the late 2000s. For example, the pink decor on the TV was obviously removed, like Michael said, as that was probably removed around 2006. There were 2 flat screens also on the side of the stage. However, they were still in the old CRT boxes that were inside the walls. So that's pretty cool. And they also had this neon light that was still around. However, they were sort of broken, possibly due to the age. Although everything was fine at the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon, there was only one incident that occurred, which was sort of tragic. A shooting. On January 6, 2019, there was sounds of gunshots heard outside of the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon. Now, thankfully, there was no one hurt. However, there were evidence of a gunfire found in the parking lot on the west side of the building, alongside of an abandoned vehicle that appears to be damaged by gunshots, according to the police. Thankfully, no one was injured, so it wasn't really that tragic. However, it could have been tragic if someone was shot and killed. But let's not think negative. At least no one was hurt. And around January 2020, we start to see some more videos of Portland for the first time since 2011. So it's almost been 10 years since we had seen footage of the location. We can only see footage of the stage, and it appears to be in decent condition. Obviously, some things were broken, but it was in somewhat decent condition. However, little did people know that this would be the final footage we've ever seen at the location, because 2020 may have been the worst year for all of us. However, it was also the worst year for Chuck E. Cheese. On March 11th, 2020, COVID-19 officially became declared as a pandemic. And by March 14th, 2020, Chuck E. Cheese's was forced to close down all locations temporarily across the globe as the whole world officially went into lockdown. They did only stay open for takeout. However, this did not really help much. In fact, things got worse because on June 25th, 2020, Chuck E. Cheese filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy for the second time in their history, this time due to the COVID-19 pandemic. And they were forced to close down 34 locations, including San Jose Cruiser Road, which, like I mentioned in my last history video, on San Jose, California. So, it's really sad. But Portland, Oregon wasn't affected. Well, yet. Because unfortunately, the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon closed down on October 12, 2020 after 38 years in operation. Now, the reason why it closed is unknown. However, there are possibly a few reasons. 1, the lease expired on the building. 2, the COVID-19 pandemic. And 3, this is the most likely reason. The area it was surrounded in was most likely abandoned. Well, except with the new McDonald's, which basically relocated from a small McDonald's, which closed down and got demolished, which was on the other side of the street. But the area was pretty much abandoned, and there might have been some issues there, like gangs and violence, so it's possible that that could have been an issue for Portland. Well, whatever the reason was, the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon was closed down, and everything inside would be removed. As for the animatronics' whereabouts, they have a quite interesting one. Pretty much all the animatronics were destroyed. However, some remnants remain owned by a private collector, while the rest of the characters' remnants are owned by LKD Animatronics. The Wink was unfortunately left destroyed. Now, to talk about what happened post-closure, I'm gonna hand it over to Michael Armenta. Because I'm pretty sure some of you guys are wondering, what happened to Portland, Oregon? I mean, it's been 4 years since its closure as of today. So I'm gonna hand it over to Michael to talk about it.
The Cool Chuck logo was taken off the building as soon as the restaurant closed, and the building was fenced up by early 2021. The whole logo frame and awnings were brought down by about 2022. The street sign would also start to get vandalized. Not much would happen to the building for another 3 years. In March 2024, a video was uploaded to YouTube that showed the inside of the restaurant for the first time since its closure. The carpet had been removed, booths were piled on top of each other, the The stage was completely torn out, the ceilings were coming down, and piles of scrap metal were in the game area. The kitchen and ordering areas had also been completely torn down. Only one sign remained from when it was a Chuck E. Cheese. As of October 2024, the location is still a vacant building.
And that brings us to today. As of October 2024, the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon is still abandoned and rotting away with memories. It is really sad it closed. Even after its closure, this location was very underrated. But hopefully after this video, it won't be that underrated. At least I hope. Before the location closed, it had a 3.6 star rating on Google. I mean, maybe this could have been one of the reasons why it closed. It had a very low rating, so that could have been the reason. If you want to visit the location, the address is located at 9120 Southeast Powell Boulevard, Portland, Oregon, 97266. While you're there, make a video. Well, I highly recommend you don't visit since the area could be dangerous, and we don't want to risk anything happening. And there you have it, the history of the Chuck E. Cheese's in Portland, Oregon. It's really cool how much history there is behind it. From a pizza time theater to having one of the most popular C-stage photos, which pretty much is a C-stage stock photo, to having one of the most unique 2 stages. What's even cooler, that I forgot to mention, is that they had the last late 90s skee ball game. This one. It's honestly pretty cool, as pretty much all locations got Alley Roller, of course, by the 2010s. Portland, Oregon had the last one with the Chuck E. Cheese skee ball from the late 90s, the one with Cool Chuck. However, it's very unfortunate to see that this location is gone. Now, as of October 2024, we don't know if Chuck E. Cheese has any plans to return to Portland, Oregon. Even if they did, it would most likely be a 2.0 location. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really liked making this video. Portland, Oregon had a very unique history, and it's really sad to say it's underrated. They should have really kept this location open. It would have been really cool. Before we end, I want to give another shout out to CEC Vancouver for requesting this location. And also, go subscribe to Michael Armenta. And I want to thank him again for collaborating with me. This is one of the first collabs I've ever done, which is pretty cool. And while you're at it, subscribe, as he's nearly at 10k subs. Anyways, if you have any questions, comment down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a Chucky day.
Oh boy, I just love birthday parties. And look, there's the guest of honor. Happy birthday! Come on, let's celebrate.
Yeah, let's bring out that birthday cake. Clap in your hands.
Get on your feet.
We're gonna share a special treat.
We say happy, you say birthday. Happy
Birthday.
Happy
Birthday.
Clap your hands. Now stomp your feet. Hey, you're a birthday star at Chuck E. Cheese. You're a special guest we all aim to please. You're a big time, big stuff going far. Here's to you, our birthday star. We say happy, you say birthday. Happy
Birthday.
Happy
Birthday.
Clap your hands. Now stomp your feet. The party started and everybody is here to wish you the best. Yeah. Won't be long until you're all grown up. But let's not think ahead that far. Today you are a birthday star. We say happy, you say birthday. Happy
Birthday.
Happy
Birthday.
Clap your hands. Now stomp your feet. Alright everybody, let's sing happy birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Thank